it's just very strange when people have this bizarre origin myth. Like, I wonder who was the first one to tell them they came from stars. Imagine if you're successful, we eventually do colonize Mars, and you're correct. Earth winds up through human folly or natural disaster getting wiped out. And there's only the colony on Mars. And that colony exists for 10, 20,000 years, and they have their origin myth that we all came from Earth. If this does happen, and you do colonize Mars, and Earth does get destroyed, and if there a period of time takes place, like look at the period, like at least the conventional timeline of the Great Pyramid, which is 4,500 years ago.
5,000 years.
Yeah. So that's not that much time.
It's not that much time.
No, I mean, if
it's nothing on the galactic time scale.
Right. So if we're talking 20, 30,000 years from now on Mars, and people talk about what Earth used to be like.
I mean, I think like there's some debate as like how do you say when did civilization start? And I'd say like probably from the first writing.
Like there's hieroglyphs that depict a history of Egypt that goes back far longer, maybe even 30,000 plus years ago. But archaeologists dismiss it because they think that that's mythical. But non-conventional archaeologists who believe in what's called the Younger Dryas impact theory, and that somewhere around 11,800 years ago, civilization was essentially all but wiped out by comet impacts. And that is the reason why they keep finding these insanely old megalithic structures that are carved out of stone. Göbekli Tepe, which is 11,600 years ago. That's an insanely old structure that they didn't even know people were capable of building. When you go to 11,600 years ago, it was just hunter-gatherer.
Any kind of evidence that I've seen that is actually substantial is writing is 5,500 years old.
Yeah, in terms of writing, yeah. Well, what they believe is that there's very little left of this ancient civilization other than things like the pyramids, other than things like the Sphinx. There's a geologist that really stuck his neck out. His name's Dr. Robert Schoch from Boston University. And what he said was his theory is that there's deep water erosion all over the temple of the Sphinx, where the Sphinx was carved out of, that is indicative of thousands of years of rainfall. And the last time they had rainfall in the Nile Valley was around 9,000 BC. The geologists look at it, and if he shows it to them in terms of like just shows an image of the erosion and doesn't tell them where it is, they'll almost all of them will say that's water erosion from thousands of years of rainfall.
I think even if you say like, okay, civilization is like 9,000 years old, it's still nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
So, we're still talking about like a very tiny fraction of Earth's existence. Like Earth.
Yeah.
The geological evidence suggests Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. So human civilization has been around for roughly 1/1,000,000th of Earth's existence. And even if it's 10,000 years,
even if it's 30,000 years ago, it's still nothing.
Yeah.
What they're saying though is that civilization is insanely fragile.
That's exactly,
and much more fragile than I think we realize.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think we should view civilization as being fragile.
Yeah, but we don't. Isn't that bizarre? It's one of the weird things about people is that unless the threat is in front of us, it's abstract.
No, actually, one of my sons, he has these profound observations. And he asked me, what was LA like 4,000 years ago? I'm like, it wasn't around. And he said, what will it be like in 4,000 years from now? Probably buried under rubble, I guess.
Probably very similar to what it was like 4,000 years ago.
Yeah. Exactly.
Except less radioactive.
And he asked me, did they speak English 4,000 years ago? I'm like, nope.
Here we
it's like,
go.
will they speak English 4,000 years from now? Probably not.